recorded what?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. It is episode 102, and it's Monday morning today. And you might have noticed I'm starting the episode drinking a beer. FYI to all the kids at home, if I'm starting an episode drinking a beer, it tends to mean that like getting set up was a little bit stressful, and it was today. It was a little bit stressful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really sure if I'm actually live or not, because my internet has been super mega sketchy. If you're thinking about getting Virgin internet at home, do not get Virgin, okay? We're a couple of months away from 5G kind of being rolled out. You'd probably be better off with a 5G SIM card. And if you're a crazy person who's scared of 5G because someone told you that 5G correlates with all bad things, then, you know, you could get hyper optic or something like that, right? 1,000 gigabits per second. Megabits per second, whatever it is. Gigabit internet. Yeah, that sounds much more interesting to me. But if I'm going to be honest, I'd be happy with just a regular speed where it doesn't die on me all the time and my router doesn't keep booting me. But that's enough of a rant, I think, because I have the guy who created these. These are Pietro Nicola, which I think in Italian means it's a girl's name, but he invented them. Right. So, Adam Elmagrab, Adam, if you're cool with it, could you give me the proper pronunciation of your name?
Yeah. So in Scotland or in the UK, people would generally say the soft G, so Elmagrab, but the proper way of saying it would be a hard G. If you're in North Africa or in the Middle East, they would say Elmagrab, the harder G. So
Elmagrab. Okay.
Either way, man. Elmagrab or Elmagrab, I'm happy with either. Just call me Adam, it's easier. It's
you might have noticed I spelled your name wrong on the cover. Did you see that?
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Everyone does it.
So it's all good, man. It's all good.
I put it in really small writing afterwards, the correct spelling, to prove that I did know the correct spelling. Did you see that? You didn't see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I did. I admire that, man. I admire that. So it happens.
That was my misguided attempt at witty banter.
So, yeah, it's all good. It's
your name's double barrel now as well, is it?
Yeah, so I took my wife's name when I got married 3 years ago. 3 years ago, yeah. So I took my wife's name to kind of give her a bit of a nod as well, because I'm nothing without her, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's very cool. So how's married life? 3 years in now?
Yeah, it's been good, man. She works with me now as well, which is cool. So it's a kind of like a really family business now. We've got an amazing little I would say puppy, a little dog as well called Margot, which is the Cafe Margot you've got in front of you is named after. So
okay. So Cafe Margot is named after your puppy.
Yeah, so cafe is also the Italian word for coffee. So the Margot comes from my puppy, and it just sounds cool, you know. So
okay,
so yeah.
So thank you so much for jumping on to talk about these, because I kind of I could do research myself, and you did send me a text with like all the bits of information that I would ever need. But there's something about getting the person who created them on the line and presenting, at least the headlines of what they are to people direct, right?
Yeah.
Which I delivered that terribly, right? There's something about hearing it from the horse's mouth that just makes it more legitimate, because I know you've been around in the bar industry for a long time. I guess as have I. And, there was the story of the Manhattan being invented by Jenny Churchill when I first started bartending, right?
Yeah.
And people took that as gospel. So for me, the less whispers and the less removed I am from the actual horse's mouth, the better. And I feel the same for the people watching, right?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. So straight away, we got a question from Daniel Kaizen. What are they? If you could give me in as short as possible 1 minute, a heads up, what are these?
So they are an Italian-inspired range of aperitivi and digestivo. So Pietro Nicola is my Italian grandmother. She was called Dora Pietro Nicola Casella.
Cool.
So it's her middle name. Originally, it was going to be called Pietro Casella, but there's a fairly large wine company in Australia called Casella Family Brands, and they did not take too kindly to me calling my brand Pietro Casella, so we changed it to the Pietro Nicola. But it's essentially an Italian-inspired range of aperitivi and digestivos. So drinks you would generally have before and after dinner. You can drink them on their own, or you can have them with cocktails and so on. So
Okay, very cool. And obviously you've got the nocino is green walnut. It says it on the bottle. I can't go wrong there.
yep.
And then you've got peach aperitif wine, right? So I think this might have been raised by someone on the show because I keep talking about Rancan Can all the time.
Yeah.
Is it Rancan Can-esque?
Similar, but we use actual peach wine. So Rancan Can's a combination of white wine and distilled peaches. So it's essentially fortified with a peach distillate.
Yeah.
Whereas we're actually using peach wine for the Pescaro. So Pescaro is a hybrid of the Italian words for peach and amaro. And it's basically a take on this bottle, one of these bottles that I got back in 2009. So these are the only full bottles of peach, or they were the only full bottles of peach bitters in the world. And this is British style peach bitters. Peach bitters back in England 50 plus years ago were fortified wine. They weren't the American style dashing bitters we have. So like your Angosturas, your non-potable beverage spirit based, whereas British bitters was essentially the medicinal word. It was a fortified wine. Does that make sense?
It's really interesting that you talk about British bitters because this might sound ridiculous, but you know I worked for William Grant & Sons before, right?
Yep.
No joke. They found some old handbooks and recipes books from like way back when William Grant was still alive, and his wife used to make bitters. It was they had a family recipe.
Yeah, it was a huge thing, man. A lot of the companies used to back in the day, and so I got in touch with the family members who ran this company, and the only reason they really stopped making it was because they actually, like ourselves, had a railway arch in London and it flooded, and they lost all the production records for how to make the wine.
Wow.
That was part of the reason why. That was part of the reason why they stopped making it. But they used to make like ginger wine as well. So they used to make they were like ourselves. They were primarily compounders.
Yeah.
So they would fortify wine. They would make their own Old Tom gins and various other bits and bobs. So, but that company are still going. The Ellis Family Wines are called. If you Google them, they've got like a warrant from the Queen. They supply wines to the Queen and so on. So.
Yeah, because I was asked my opinion of like, what do you think of these bitters back in the day? And they were made from new make, and then they were non-potable. They were kind of Angostura bitters-esque, right?
Yep.
And I tasted them. I'm like, what's the story? Like, they're great. And they said, we found an archive recently that we didn't know about before. This was, right at the height of when bitters were popular, right? And I just said to them, like, no one's going to believe you. Because who's going to believe that William Grant's were making bitters 130 years ago and they just stumbled across the recipe? But anyway, besides that, not that would have made a difference. I'm going to taste these for the first time because you knew I hadn't tasted them before, but I like the I guess the thrill and excitement of tasting something live for the first time, and also I'm getting it fresh, even though I have just had a beer. So what was the inspiration for green walnut?
So basically, the first time I ever went to Venice. I went to Italy. I was in Venice with my Italian distribution partner. They took me to a little tiny restaurant in Venice, and we ate loads of seafood and drank lots of whiskey. And it was a cool little place. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a cool little bar, cafe, restaurant kind of feel. And at the end of the meal, one of the things we had obviously limoncello and a couple other liqueurs. But we had a cafe corretto with the Nicino and coffee and espresso, and it was just insane. I remember that I never tried Nicino before then. And the flavor was just insane. It stayed with me for years and years. And now we've got the company we can actually make Nicino. I want to make my own interpretation of it. So
it's definitely got a bitters sort of flavor to it. Like it's for me, I'm getting I don't know if it's clove. I'm not amazing at tasting stuff. I usually say this tastes nice or this doesn't taste nice. But it's like all spicy cloviness in the background. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, the main flavoring is obviously the green walnut. So the cool thing is, that actually for this year's batch, the walnuts have actually been picked this week. So we get our walnuts from a farm in England called Potash Farm. So another big thing with the Pietro Nicola range is we're only using botanicals that come from the countries relative to my family. So it's the UK, North Africa, and then Italy. So the botanicals that are all used in there primarily come from those. So in this case, the green walnuts come from Potash Farm in England. And then we add an array of botanicals to kind of complement those flavors. So there's citrus peel. You've then got things like clove and allspice and vanilla, a little bit of coffee bean as well. But it's delicious. But I know you've got some cheese with you, so go and cut a little bit of parmesan and eat some parmesan with the Nicino. Or don't say you don't have any.
You're not going to believe this. So it turns out my son, even though he's only a quarter Italian, he's a quarter Scottish, quarter Italian, quarter Danish, quarter Irish. Because I'm half Irish, half Danish, and my wife Electra, you've met her before, is half Italian, half Scottish, right? So it means that Axel only eats ragu, right? Like if he won't eat anything, we give him ragu, he eats it. But it means that today we ran out of Parmigiano. So I don't have actual Italian Parmesan, but I've got like Doorstone. I've got 2 English cheeses. So the Cornish kern would be the closest thing. It's kind of salty.
Yeah, if it's quite salty, then try a little bit of it with the Nicino, man.
So I'm drinking a Scottish Italian with an English cheese, right?
Yeah.
We're it's kind of like it's like being on Italy on holiday, but virtually during Brexit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is kind of the whole point of the Nicino. So when we do the tours and tastings of the House Botanicals, at the end of the session, once you've tried all our gins and the various other bits and bobs we let you try, you will get a little plate of cheese plus the Nicino, and it's the one thing that everyone just goes mad for, man.
Okay, so that's nice.
We generally give them a little bit of Pecorino, Manchego, or Parmigiano. So a harder cheese, quite a salty cheese, quite a nutty cheese is perfect for it. Have it with the Nicino. It's just phenomenal, man.
This works as well, man. Yeah, this has got chunks of salt in it, so it's working really well.
Yeah, I'll be awesome with that then. That'll be so good with that. And if I'm wondering as well, what I'm drinking here, this is a split base highball. So equal parts of the Nicino, a little bit of monkey shoulder as well.
Oh, nice. And you've got your brass top on there and everything.
Yeah, man. And just soda water, man. Shout out to the Edinburgh Ice Company for their ice as well. So.
Yeah, I've got Ice Studio London ice down here. It's I kind of really want to create an ad for the guys from Ice Studio London, but I haven't had the time yet, and kind of promote them a bit. Right. So that's so it was a split base with soda, yeah?
Yeah, super tasty. Like soda fresh and just like so much flavor going on. Amazing company to the whiskey as well, you know. Long over ice, a little bit of lemon peel or lemon zest.
They work really well together. So how long has these been around?
So the Nicino we launched in December last year.
Okay.
So basically, we get the walnuts. They're picked between June the 1st and June the 24th. They then macerate them in neutral grain spirit for no less than 40 days. It then goes through a heavy filtration process. Basically, green walnuts are a traditional hair, or they're used as a natural dye. So they're really, really fucking sticky, man. Can I swear? Sorry, is that okay to swear? I swore. It's too late. I'm Scottish, man.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
So it goes through a heavy filtration process, and then all the different processing we have after it's been macerated. And then we launched it for essentially just after autumn, going into winter. So Scottish winter started in July. So we launched it in December last year.
Yeah.
And then we followed up with the Cafe Margot just before lockdown. And then lockdown kind of sped through the whole process for everything else.
Okay, yeah. So Nocino was the first.
Yeah. So
And then Margot.
So the original idea was to have the Nicino first, then the Pescaro, which is the peach aperitif wine, then the Cafe Margot, which is the coffee spirit, and then the latter part, which is the vermouth.
I like that you put the branding back on the cork on the inside. You're hand bottling these, are you?
Yeah. No. So we've got a bottling machine and stuff. So it's semi-automatic machinery.
All right. So the peach is second, right?
Yeah.
Man, honestly, I'm not joking. So how would you normally drink this? Like, after neat, what would your suggested serve be? And also, I got a question from Des. Are they similar to anything on the market, or are they kind of very different to everything else? What would you compare them to?
Nicino, I mean, there are other Nicinos on the market. With the Pescaro, not that I know of. I mean, there's peach wines on the market, but there's no peach fortified wine as far as I'm aware. You've got Rancan, which is kind of similar, but I would compare Rancan more to like a more elegant schnapps, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas the Pescaro for me, I'm going to pour one as well. The Pescaro is more in the kind of Cochi Americano, Lillet.
Wow, that's not what I was expecting.
So it's not. I mean, again, with my thing with flavor as well, a lot of people know flavor, but they don't know the actual flavor, if that makes sense. So a lot of things that say they're coffee don't actually taste of coffee. A lot of things that are chocolate don't taste of chocolate.
I've only tasted a grape once that tastes like the purple flavor that grape is meant to represent, and it blew my mind. Like I tasted it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's where they get the grape flavor from." Yeah, it was.
A lot of things with peach don't taste of peach. So because we're using natural peach wine, then we're fortifying it by adding additional herbs and botanicals. But this is, I mean, there's nothing like it on the market as far as I'm aware. I did look around and see it. I'm sure there's some small batch stuff in France or Italy or Germany. There's always loads of cool farm stuff there, but this is just awesome, man. Spritzes, cocktails. It makes an awesome martini just to remove the dry vermouth and use this instead.
It's a lot drier than I was expecting it to be. I had in my mind that it was like going to be wine and peach, like a Rancan can. But this is, it is like a peach bitters, isn't it?
Yeah, so I noticed in your video the other day you made a 20th century cocktail. You could do the same thing again and remove the Lillet and have that instead. You know what I mean? It's got that same kind of viscosity, body, same kind of flavors.
And it's kind of Susie. Is it just, I'm trying to avoid, I'm going to read the bottle.
No, on you go. So again, I mean, technically it is an Americano, so the combination of wormwood and gentian root.
Yep.
It classically, or would be called, categorized as an Americano. But as it's got a peach wine base, I don't know if that changes the classification as such. So I try to almost like create something a bit different. You know, it's inspired by your great fortified wines, but it's something completely different.
Wine made from peach. Do people just drink that, or what does it usually get used in? Because I've never tasted a wine from peach.
So it's basically a medium sweet dessert wine, essentially. That's what you'll generally have. But in England, there's so we get the wine from Lime Bay Winery. So you can't jump online, and if you want to buy a bottle of the peach wine, I think it's like £7 or £8.
Okay.
But it's delicious, man. Like, it's so good. But yeah, it's something a bit different, you know. And let's say with my idea of flavor, it's taste flavor properly, you know. So.
So I've got a question here from Diogo. Is it similar to a liqueur or a Maro, or does it have a short shelf life like a vermouth?
No. So with the Pescaro, it's 22 ABV. So the ABV we wanted to have a higher ABV for that as well, which sustains the shelf life. I would recommend, again, sticking it in the fridge and serving it chilled. And I'm sure it probably would, you know, because of the lower ABV, it will deteriorate it fairly quickly. But to be honest, you'll drink it in a night anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, it tastes like that kind of thing. Yeah, it's really. I'm actually taken aback by it. I wasn't expecting it to be. The aftertaste has got that kind of gentian-y, like it's like the aftertaste you get from Suze. I'm thinking Suze, but without the sickly sweetness. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. How much sugar is there in there?
So less than 150 grams.
Okay. Cool.
And that's the other big thing for this range. So they're all a lot lighter in sugar than your other traditional kind of coffee spirits and so on. There was the one thing that when I started making spirits was open my eyes to finding out how much sugar was in the likes of Campari and Aperol and stuff. I mean, if you want to jump online and go to the Systembolaget website, which is this Swedish state-owned monopoly, you can basically just pick out a product, and the analysis is online there, and it's mind-blowing. Like the amount of sugar
it's mad how many people use the Swedes to find out how much sugar's in everything, huh?
But it's online, man. The Swedes and the Norwegian and the Finnish, man. Everything's there, so it's a resource for you to use. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, when I started researching like vermouths and stuff, it was like, fuck, they put so much sugar in everything. And then when you start dialing that back, and you've got like this is natural tasting, like insane. Just let the herbs and spices do their thing, you know?
Yeah, there's more savory notes in this than I was expecting. I think that's what's I think Electra's gonna love this. I'm not saying I don't, but I mean these flavors, these like rich, deep, or like balance of sweet and savory flavors are right up her alley.
But yeah, so like this kind of thing, like start with like an Italian burrata salad. So like some fresh burrata, some fresh basil leaves, some really good heirloom tomatoes, man. Pizza as well with like loads of fresh. If you imagine the proper Italian style pizza.
What's the salad that you do where you take old bread and you put tomatoes and bits and pieces in it, and it's got oil and vinegar, and the oil and vinegar soaks into the small cubes of bread? Do you know that?
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it'd taste great with that.
Yeah, but that's the kind of idea, man. It's to go with food, you know what I mean? And with the peach especially, it's got so much versatility. Things with goat cheese. Sorry, on you go.
The guys are asking, is the peach sweet enough to replicate peach in a perfect lady?
Yeah.
Audio.
Yeah.
Audio's not working apparently.
My audio.
Can someone answer me that? Is that audio? Has the audio dropped out? Whoa. That's the dumbest question ever, right? Can you hear me? Let me have a look at this. Hold on. Yeah. So would you say that you could make a white lady with it and make a perfect lady?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the bottled cocktails we're doing right now is it's called a peach, basically. It's a perfect lady with our maple Old Tom gin, the peach, and then citric acid. And it works perfectly.
You use citric acid?
Yeah, because it's a bottled cocktail, so we don't want to use fresh lemon for the bottled cocktail.
Can you walk me through that and I'll make one? Because I've got Old Tom here. I don't have your Old Tom, unfortunately, but I have the Clumsy's Old Tom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, and then we've got this. And now I've got citric acid up there, but I think we could maybe use super sour.
Yeah, that should work. I've not tried it with super sour, so you might need to adjust it. But if you do essentially 37.5 ml of the Old Tom, so a shot and a half.
Okay.
And then do a shot of Pescaro.
And it's shaken, right?
Yeah. I mean, you might, depending on your taste, you might want to add a touch of sugar. But like I like things quite dry, quite sour, and quite bitter, as you can imagine.
Well, I've got a sweet tooth, man. Like I will eat all the sugar. Like I will eat 2 massive big things of fairy floss, like candy floss. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But
with this,
I'm a high energy person, so.
So with this, go for a shot of the Pescaro.
25.
Yeah.
Because the shot's different in every different place.
And then start with 12.5 of the super sour. So do a half a shot to start off with. Give that a little taste and see what you think. Have you got egg white to hand as well?
Nope.
No. It's all good. You might need a little bit of sugar, but like I say.
Yeah, I'd say for me it would need a tiny bit of sugar. I'm just going to put a bar spoon of my Funkin' Pro sugarcane that they gave me for free. Which, you know, if I get some free stuff at this stage, I'm going to like promote the shit out of it, right?
Yeah, fucking right, mate. That's why I'm sitting here right now.
Because you know what? I know for a fact there's no such thing as free stuff, right? Somebody's paid for it.
Exactly. HMRC, the fucking assholes.
What's that?
HMRC take the profits, man, so fuck them.
Yeah. Especially right now. They're taking the piss. Lots. Right. So. I feel really old every time I shake. It's like I feel like I should do a warm up beforehand. All right. I'm going to turn on my little light. Ooh. You see that? That makes stuff fancy, right?
Yeah. Do it for the gram, as they say. I should have made one of these as well before I came on.
All right. Let's have a look. Now, I'm kind of wishing I put more sugar in it because I already know I've got too much of a sweet tooth. Oh, it's really good. Wow. I'm not getting as much peach as I would have, but like it's actually really well balanced. I was expecting it to be kind of sour, but it's not. It's nice. Yeah, you get the peach. The peach comes through a little bit late, but I'd probably put more of the pescara. But then again, this might be quite a bit different to what yours is.
Yeah, I've not tried the Clumsy's Old Tom. I don't think I've got any. I need to check, but I don't think I do. But yeah, you get quite careful. But like again, things like spritzes as well, man. Like it makes amazing spritzes. I had some at the weekend. I had a bottle of like a rosé spumante shit that I found in the supermarket. Yeah. Rosé spumante and some of the pescaro, man. Just long with rice, olives, lemon, just the usual shit with spritzes, man. It's fucking tasty. Like it's delicious.
Okay. Cafe Margot.
Yeah. So this is this is not a diss at coffee. My frustration with coffee, like I love coffee. I'm sure all bartenders watching this and fucking yourself.
I love
coffee. But like the coffee that I drink and the coffee liqueurs you get, they're just completely different. And it really annoyed me that like you can't get a good coffee spirit.
I think they're starting to come out now. I've been doing quite a bit of research on coffee spirits of late. And I think people are starting to scale back the sugar and scale up that kind of real coffee flavor, that oily, earthy, bitter coffee flavor. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So this was basically my wife. Shout out to my wife. I think she's watching. I love you.
Hello.
She got me a bag of barrel-aged coffee for Christmas 2 years ago. Yeah. So basically, coffee beans when they're green, if you add them, they're like sugar or salt. They just take on the flavour of everything around it. And Brewdog, which is I'm sure you all know Brewdog Brewery up next to us in Aberdeen, they did a barrel-aged coffee bean with their, I think it's called Dog E. It's they do like annual batches. Essentially, it's a really rich stout or porter. And the beans were insane. They were so fucking mental, man. But I completely forgot I had them. I basically stored them away in the office behind me, actually, in the cupboard. And then I found them about 6 months after their best before dates. I put them in some. I ground them, put them in some alcohol, let it sit. Completely forgot I did that, and then went back and tried this essentially barrel-aged spirit stuff, and was like, holy fucking shit! Like it's insane. So then this gave me the inspiration for making a coffee spirit that had been barrel-aged. So it's just coffee. It's just neutral grain spirit, but the coffee beans have been aged in a barrel that previously held bourbon and porter. So the beans have taken on some of the flavor from the bourbon and some of the flavor from the porter as well.
So you put dry coffee beans, whole dry coffee beans, into what type of barrel?
So the green coffee beans.
Yep. Oh, they're green. Okay.
They have been roasted. So before they're roasted, they basically go in a barrel for 2 weeks, and that barrel previously held bourbon and porter. It takes all the kind of vanilla flavor from the bourbon, and then you get all this like chocolate nuts, dark forest fruit flavor from the porter.
So then we roast. Is the barrel like it's one of your small barrels? It's not like an ASB. It's not like an American.
No, no,
White
no.
oak
So it's a
bourbon barrel.
company. We're working with a company in England that they do the coffee. They basically make barrel aged coffee. You can jump online and buy it as well.
Okay, cool.
So they do this small batch, different barrel ages and stuff, different barrel finishes and things. So they do this one with the bourbon and porter. So I got some of that and tried it in small batches and was just blown away in our tasting room and let people try it. And they were just, again, everyone was like, it's fucking amazing, bring it to market. So that's Cafe Margot. So barrel aged coffee bean, spirit, and just a touch of sugar. So it's got about 30 grams of sugar per litre. So it's a spirit. It's not a liqueur in any way, shape, or form. But this is, man, the flavour is just fucking nuts. Like, it'll blow your mind. If you like coffee, it's... I'm doing the same, actually.
It's really funny because I've been basically drinking a lot of coffee liqueurs recently. And I've got one that I haven't tasted yet right here. Have you ever seen this before? Well, actually, you know what? I'll leave it. I'll do it after we've finished our chat. I'll pull that stuff out.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted this yet, so I get distracted too easy. I got to get better at not jumping off onto tangents. I'm literally like a puppy myself.
Yeah, but you're standing around all those ace bottles behind you, man. So it's gonna happen.
That's why I changed lenses today. This is the first episode where I've cut into the bar a little bit so that it's not as messy behind me. I'm hoping it works. You know, I'm gonna start working out so my shoulders get wider so you can see less of the bar. That's another plan I've got. I always say next week.
So what's
the ABVs on these ones? Mitch has just asked. So this one's 30% ABV.
Yeah, so that's 30. The Pescaro is 22. Nicino is 17.
And this one's 30 with 30 grams per liter, is it, of sugar?
It's just a little bit over 30 grams per liter.
Just about what they put in rum these days, right?
Probably less, to be honest. Probably less.
And this one's 22. Is there's how much sugar's in these ones?
So in the Nicino, it works out about 180 grams per liter. With the Pescaro, about 140. I think if I remember right from the analysis, it's 137.5 grams.
It's odd because it doesn't really taste like it's got a lot of sugar in it, that Pescaro. But then again, peaches can be quite earthy, can't they?
Yeah, but it's just because of the botanicals we use. If you look at the botanical list, it's all very floral and bitter botanicals.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So they compensate for that sweetness to bring it down. Because when I first did the Pescaro, the original idea was to make it with very, very little sugar. And we tried it with 20, 30, 40, 50, and it was like, fuck, this needs more sugar, man. It was too much. I mean, I enjoyed it, but my palate's different compared to everyone else, you know, so...
Yeah, so you started as dry as you could, and you added sugar until it was till it was at the point where you thought it was palatable for your end consumer, but not too much sugar.
Yeah, but it's also the thing because, I mean, I obviously come from a bartending background, so whenever I make anything new, I'll try it in all the drinks that I think it'll work in. So, for example, with the Cafe Margot, that's like Negronis, that's like your old fashions, Manhattans. It makes an amazing Manhattan. Because of the ABV, you can also make it the base as well. So, I mean, so it really depends on the product and how much sugar we add to it, depending on its end.
So I'm going to ask you one. If anyone, I'm going to do one last thing. If anyone has any more questions, so it probably works good in a Scottish espresso martini. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, man, it does. So again, so part of the Pietro Nicola range, we do a bottled cocktail, which is our take on a shakerato, it's called. So shakerato in Italy is a shot of espresso with sugar, shaken with ice. So we do our bottled espresso martini with the Cafe Margot. Cafe Margot cold brew coffee, Old Tom gin, salted cacao, and something else I've forgotten now. Oh, Demerara sugar, sorry, as well.
I don't have an espresso machine in here. It's in the house, so I can't make an espresso martini. I was just about to try to make a Scottish espresso martini. The hard part would be getting actual Scottish coffee beans, because you can't grow coffee beans in Scotland.
No, that's not going to happen yet, man.
Cool. But I've got like a Gervin No. 4 new make.
Yeah.
Which would have been, you know, these two. We're already halfway there. I'll try it later on.
Yeah, try it later.
I'll let you know how it gets down. But that's delicious, man. And you're right. It's got that real coffee flavor, and you can taste the spirit after it. So you haven't put any other botanicals in that, because after the first two, I was expecting bitter botanicals in it as well.
No, so again, we just want to let the coffee do its thing, but also introducing flavour in a different way by the barrel aging process. But try the Cafe Margot with tonic. Have you got some tonic to hand?
Yeah, coffee tonic can do.
Because when you add like things like soda or tonic water to it, it just pulls out so much more flavour as well.
All right. So I made quite a few coffee tonics in this bar. You'd be surprised.
Breakfast time, man.
I think. Do you think coffee tonic is becoming more popular in bars?
Yeah, it's still very much a London thing, man. Like everything, but in Europe it's quite a big thing. I know in Italy it's quite a big thing, like fresh espresso and tonic. But the Cafe Margot tonic, man, it's just it brings out the kind of like the dark chocolate. You get this lovely what's it called, forest fruit, like dark fruit kind of flavors. It's obviously like a nuttiness as well. It's almost like a fruit and nut chocolate bar.
If you were to garnish it, would you say orange? Yeah,
probably lemon or orange, man. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I've already pulled the orange out, so I'm gonna stick with my first instinct of orange.
Yeah, orange or lemon works perfect.
All right. Let's see how this goes.
All right, cheers to that.
Yeah, that is good. Oh, so one last question, actually. I was going to make a Manhattan, but I've got this now.
Yes.
So, where do you get your neutral spirit from? Are you like, where is it grain neutral spirit? Is it from wheat?
No, it's great. So it's we get our grain neutral from Langley.
Okay.
But we worked with them since I started making the bitters back in 2009. So we've got a good relationship with them. And their quality of product's always been really good for what we need it for. You know what I mean? It's essentially a blank canvas that we can paint flavour on.
But the neutral spirit's coming from England. Effectively. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right.
We spoke to a few guys in Scotland before, but to get what we need, what we couldn't get anyone. I mean, we probably could now because there's more companies making stuff in Scotland.
But when you started with the bitters, that was really early days.
Yeah, that was 2009, man, and there was like nobody making shit up here. You know what I mean? There was Brewdog and me. That was it. And then now you've got so many people.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I had a bottle of your bitters that I found it had fallen down behind the other spirits, and when I was doing a deep clean, I found it, and I thought to myself, this, because it was it was a limited edition Spanish bitters that you did, and there was the Spanish bitters and there was the Dead Rabbit ones, but there was an unopened bottle of the Orinoco bitters. Like would that still be okay?
Oh yeah. I mean, ABV's 45, man. They'll still be fine.
All right, cool. I'll hang on to them.
But yeah, you should make a Manhattan with the Cafe Margot. Try a Manhattan with it, man.
Okay, I'll do one. After this, I've got to have a couple of bottles of champagne, so I'm just trying to pace myself.
Quite right.
We're celebrating my mother-in-law's last day at work. But last day at work ever. Right? Can you imagine how that feels? It's got to feel pretty good.
I mean, I think we all felt that a few months back. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. All right. So Manhattan. I'm going to use Rubino because it's fresh.
Yeah, quite right, man. It's good stuff, that.
Yeah, I like it. And the guys from Martini are lovely people as well. I keep more and more. I've been falling in love with them. You know when someone's just really like genuinely cool.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a brand ambassador kind of sowing the right seeds. I
do love their new stuff. Their new stuff's awesome, man.
What whiskey would we use here? Fuck it.
Oh, you go for some Willet. Good stuff.
Yeah, it is really good stuff. I'm gonna have a good day today. And then what percent? How much would you put in?
So, what ratio have you been there? What have you done there?
So
Equal
I've done 2 to 1, but sorry, 3 to 1. Sorry.
All right, cool. I would probably do the same again of the vermouth, but in Cafe Margot. So, how much vermouth did you put in? How much in mils?
20 mils.
So do the same again in Cafe Margot. So 20 mils of Cafe Margot. And then, you've got some curacao at hand there, don't you? Some.
Oh yeah, oh man, I've got everything. You'd be amazed.
Yes, just do a dash of that, man. Like a Manhattan to walk the proper way. Yeah, that's cool, man. And then a dash of bitters. Pick whatever.
So I'm gonna open it now. All right. All right. Cool. Let me get some ice. So have you actually been busy over the whole COVID thing, or were you quieter?
Yeah, it's been weird. I mean, the first week, obviously, of lockdown, especially, was kind of horrific because we didn't really understand like what the fuck we were going to do for a business. You know what I mean? Because I think probably 90% of our sales before lockdown went to the on-trade, not just in the UK but globally. Yeah. So,
well, that's one of the things I had thought about when it first became apparent we were going to be locked down for a while, especially at bars. I thought to myself, I thought to myself 2 things, to be honest. First of all, I thought with this many bars closed, there's going to be a lot of businesses that don't reopen. And secondly, I thought this is going to hit the craft spirits sector, that the guys that don't have, established routes in Sainsbury's and Tesco's, and they don't have global travel retail sales, like the guys that have been relying on bartenders to sell their wares and have been living on tiny margins are going to be hurt by this. Which is kind of why I asked. Like, I know the big people, they're not as concerned, but with bars closed, it must have hurt. Unless you're selling direct to consumer as well, or?
Yeah, so we are now. So, we opened our site in January this year for doing tours and tastings. But pretty much from the outset of the outbreak, we started making hand sanitizer. So we produced I can't even remember how many bottles it's been now. I mean, we had pallets.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you sent me hand sanitizer.
I think so, yeah. I think I put some in the bottle, yeah.
Is it a sample? Where did it go? Damn it. Ah, here it is. So how does that work?
Yeah,
like, it's tiny.
So basically, it's the same neutral grain spirit. So HMRC changed their ruling for the production of hand sanitizer when there was a huge shortage. So it's basically neutral grain spirit mixed with hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's without the glycerin, or the.
And it's got a little bit of glycerin as well, because that's basically glycerin's a humectant, which stops your hands from drying out. So we started making hand sanitizer for donating to local charities and food banks, and then as obviously word got out, we're a small company, but we distribute globally, so we've got quite a good outreach on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So then we started sending to refugee camps in France, and it's just gone fucking mad, man. But
wow.
The hand sanitizer was never a profitable thing. We didn't want to make money from it, and we're still not. We're actually in the next couple of days going to start making hand sanitizer and basically refilling, free refills, because I think the idea of people making money from sanitizer is bullshit. So we did it for not for profit, and any profits we raised over the kind of break-even point, we donate to a local food bank around the corner from the House Botanicals.
That's really nice, man. That's fucking cool. And it must feel good to be in a position to be able to help in such a way.
Yeah, and that was the thing, because like when lockdown came in, we were essentially classified as key workers, so we were still having to go to work every day. So it was fucking mad. Like, I mean, the whole thing was just insane. But we've done our bit, and we keep doing our bit. 20% of our cocktail sales go to the Drinks Trust. We've been selling the Tare and Elementary guys cocktails through our website as well to support them.
Oh, you've been
we're
helping
gonna start,
Teo?
Yeah, so we're selling their bottled cocktails through our website as well. We're going to try start the royalty scheme very soon, which I was talking about before on Facebook. You spoke about,
Okay, man.
but I'll let you speak about the drink now. That's the most important thing right now.
That's really good.
The drink.
Yeah, that's really good. It's really funny because I don't plan the show, right? I kind of do. I've started planning the show. Obviously, like I planned out talking to you, but as you know, it was really loose conversation. It wasn't like you're going to be on at this time and that, given questions in advance and all that sort of stuff. But I keep finding that because I'm only really drinking on the show, apart from some bottles of Prosecco, some bottles of champagne, and a few cocktails that I have with my wife inside the house, I'm not drinking as much as I usually would.
Yeah.
And I find myself going back to the things I like, which, as you said, you think Martinez is one of the greatest cocktails ever, right?
Hands down.
Right.
Easily.
So me.
Oh, no, I should point out, sorry, that whole family of drinks. The Martinez, the Bob Roy, the Manhattan, fucking Kangaroo, the Martini, spirit, vermouth, bitters, dash of liqueur. Just the fucking greatest drinks, man. Like.
Well, my favorite is a Manhattan, right?
Oh,
and
they're so good.
Until last night. So there's a guy. If you've seen the episodes, I'm going to try to call him. If you, everyone's saying, "What's your secret to looking youthful?" They say you still look young despite your advanced age. How old are you, man? Are you older than me? You're what?
38.
38. When's your birthday?
January
82.
Yeah.
I'm older than you, man. But
you look young as well, though, man.
What's that?
You look young as well, though, man.
It's the alcohol.
Yeah, there must be.
So what was I going to say? So last night, Mitch, who does the Mitch's Minute, apart from today, we're going to try to call him if he's up. Well, he is up. He was commenting earlier. But anyway, so Mitch made a rum Toronto at home when I was chatting to him, right? And I'm just having a conversation. He made a rum Toronto, and I wasn't familiar with the Toronto cocktail. You know the Toronto? It's basically like, my view of it is, it's an old-fashioned that uses Fernet Branca instead of non-potable bitters, right? But Mitch's view on it was it's a Manhattan that uses Fernet Branca instead of vermouth, and then like adds a bit of sugar to balance it out. So Mitch said, "Oh man, it's basically like a Manhattan but with Fernet," and I was like, "Okay," and then I made rum, vermouth, Fernet, and sugar, but he had never put vermouth in it. I thought it was delicious, but I thought that's what a Toronto was, so I was completely wrong. When I looked it up, and I went back to Embry, who had used Canadian whiskey in it. I then put Canadian whiskey in it, but I kept the vermouth in, and dude, Canadian whiskey, sweet vermouth, Fernet Branca, and sugar. I got the proportion right last night, and myself and my wife just like lost our minds. It was so good. It was and this, delicious. So these are that's my favorite style. Like, better than a cocktail, I think. What would you call the family? Because like Manhattan twists.
I'm going to plug my book here, man. But I mentioned that in my book, that there's no family of drinks for the kind of brown bitter stir kind of drinks with spirit, vermouth, dash of bitters, maybe a modifier like liqueur. There wasn't one. I can't even remember what I wrote in my book, man, to be honest with you.
What you called it? Because originally I wanted to call it in my mind I kept using the word skyscrapers, because I think of Manhattan and I think of skyscrapers, and then like Harvard doesn't mean skyscraper, but it was like it kind of, in my head it was like cities, if that makes sense. Like it was like a city drink, but doesn't make sense.
There's that thing in New York where all the cocktails are named after the schools in New York. So you've got the Harvard and the so on and so forth. you know, and I've always thought they're the greatest drinks, and they're the most adaptable as well. You can just pick up any fucking spirit. I mean, even tequila ones, mezcal ones. I mean, you can do so much with it. And essentially, and Negroni is a kind of variant on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always thought. My version of the Negroni story is that Italian guy goes to America, right? People in America are drinking this new type of drink, right? Which is like a martini or Manhattan. But it's like he goes back having tried a martini in America, which everyone's drinking, or martinis, let's say, and he goes back to Italy and he says to his Italian bartender, who's peddling ice cream at the same counter that he's selling drinks, because I mean that's what it feels like when you go to a small village in Italy, right? And he says, "Look, I had this drink. It was delicious. It had gin, bitters, and vermouth. You know, can I have one of those?" Right? Assuming the guy's going to know how to make it. And then the guy gets given the recipe of gin, bitters, and vermouth. Bitters in Italy is a very different thing, as you know. It would have been potable bitters as opposed to like the Venezuelan style non-potable bitters. So, without being given proportions, he's going to put them equal parts, like a Negroni.
Yeah.
Right?
Possibly.
Like, boom.
I mean, yeah.
And then the martini becomes a Negroni.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
But probably a good point to mention that this whole brand that I own, the whole point of it is to make the perfect Martinez. We've got our own Old Tom. We've got the Boker's bitters for the original Martinez. The Pietro Nicola range will have a vermouth coming very soon as well. Using wine from Chieti, which is the town in just outside Rome where my grandmother was born. And then after that, we're going to create our own maraschino and or curacao. And actually go to Curacao, get proper Curacao oranges, and do it all fucking properly. And again, just because I can. So
can we? So Des, you know Des Yatigamana.
Yeah,
right?
man. Yeah.
Someone else who people I think spell his surname the wrong way, and I'm not 100% sure if I pronounced it correctly. He's basically said we should call that category of drinks the Deses.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that at the bottom of the screen actually.
Yeah. Short, strong, and brown, right? Makes sense. and as Adam said earlier on, flexible. You know, capable of dancing with anything. Cool. Well, look, man. I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, and it was really good to be able to quiz you and get immediate responses to every single thing. Is there anything else you'd like to say to people apart from buy more of these three? Which, I mean, you should say that, right?
No, I mean, to be honest, at this point, the thing is, I mean, launching fucking, I mean, so we launched the Pescaro and the Cafe Margot in lockdown, you know what I mean? I've sent quite a lot of bottles to bartenders. Not asking them to do anything with it, you know, just to let them try it. And, you know, all we're trying to do right now is support the bartending community as much as we can. I mean, the one thing we said at the very beginning, me and my wife sat down and said that the kind of immediate feature for the company is just for us to survive. And help everyone as much as we can. We don't care about the profit idea right now, or the idea of making money off of this whole thing or whatever. It's bullshit, you know what I mean? So as long as we're alive, fit, healthy, you know, and the company sustaining itself, supporting everyone else is the most important thing right now. So, you know, we're doing like 20% of our web shop sales goes to the local food bank. The 20% of our bottled cocktail sales goes to the Drinks Trust. We've put a bunch, I think, I actually looked at it the other day. Since lockdown, although we're down about 50% in sales compared to last year, we've given away 20% of our sales, not profits, sales since lockdown to food banks and other charities, Black Lives Matter and all other stuff. So I guess if anyone's, I know Des just commented there saying, where can I get it? The only place to buy this right now is through our website. The Nicino is on Master and Malt and Whiskey Exchange, but we haven't really pushed to get it to other retailers yet. They will eventually go to the likes of Whiskey Exchange and drinkshop.com and all the rest of it. But through our website right now, if you're interested. But yeah, like, I don't really have much to say. Just everyone stay safe and stay healthy. And
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought you were getting at. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's get through this together, huh? Well, when everything opens back up again, I'll make a Martinez with each of these, and in the meantime, the Des and the guys in London, I've got some, so I can give you guys a taste as soon as we're allowed to. If that makes sense. I'll hang on to these. I'll keep them safe. I might put them in the fridge, make sure they're 100% stable, and then get little samples out to people. Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you, man. Cheers, buddy.
Take care, man. And one last thing is that I can only see the corner of the jersey on the. Is that a Liverpool jersey?
No, fuck that. No. So that's
it's red.
So
though.
Dennis. So it's
no
a Manchester United top from the 1950. 1963 FA Cup final. So Dennis Law is one of the Holy Trinity, they were called. Dennis Law, George Best, and Bobby Charlton. Dennis Law was from Aberdeen. So that wall originally was going to have a load of stuff to do with Aberdeen. Famous Aberdonians, but there's not many. Annie Lennox and Dennis Law is probably the two most famous. So that's it's a Dennis Law shirt, man. He's my hero.
Okay, cool.
He's the only person I've ever met that I could speak to when I met him. Like, I just crumbled. I was like, fuck. He's lived the dream, man. He won the ball.
He's the only person you've ever met that what? Sorry?
I couldn't speak to when I met him. Like, I just crumbled.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He was just too much, man. Yeah, he won the Ballon d'Or. Like, he won the Europe. Well, he was in the team that won the European Cup at Man United. He missed the final, but he's just, you know, and he went to school not far from I am, you know what I mean? So he lived the dream. As a kid growing up, you know, I wanted to be a football player. He did everything I wanted to do. He's got a statue outside fucking Old Trafford, man. You know what I mean? Like,
that's cool.
So yeah, so that's my little homage to him, man. So he's a proper dude as well.
Well, I hope you have a lovely night, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, and take care. Stay safe.
Take care, buddy. All the best.
Bye. Right. So thank you for asking questions, guys. That was Adam. What a sport. And yeah, what a legend. So that's basically all I had planned for the show, and it's run for quite a bit. It is a Liverpool top. I don't think it's a Liverpool top, man. It's just a super old Manchester United top. So I got something else recently gifted to me, and I really want to taste this. Now, I got it on Friday, and when I say something else gifted to me, I can't express how excited and privileged I feel when I get something that I haven't tasted yet that someone has given to me and say, Dean, check this out, let us know what you think, right? And it tends to be the case that I like a lot of stuff, but you have to take into account, I've tried to make my own spirits before, and it's just not worth it. You have to look at how much is my time worth. This isn't what I do. You know, if anything, if you nail something, great, but doing it at home is more for the learning process and more for the understanding than anything else. So if I taste something and it's good, I'm gonna be excited by it. Now, I've also spent a lot of time working in brands, right? So I've got this Jag's Head coffee, exactly, Ron Cologne time, right? So you know, I got this Jag's Head coffee bag, and it's got Ron Cologne in it, and I'd heard of Ron Cologne, but I'd never heard that they did a coffee version. Right now, you want to make someone feel special, right? I know how difficult it is being a brand ambassador, being a brand manager, a marketing manager, to be able to send out stuff to people. You know, you have to justify expenses, and I've now got the Ron Cologne, and I didn't want as much as I got in touch with Adam for this. I wanted to just taste it for myself because I'm quite excited about this, and I can pick up if you want to. I can try to pick up with the brand because I don't know them. I could try to pick up with the brand later and get more and more information. But I thought I would taste this with as little as possible in my mind. So I'm seeing it from my point of view and giving you my personal take on it, right? Now, the first thing I seen was the dark glass. Losing my mind, right? Losing my mind. Too much to drink. Dark glass. Love that shit. The fact that they had the label printed in such a way that it could, you know, they made the label a creative design. The last time I seen that was these guys that took what you could only describe as a stock bottle. Let me put it on that side. Took what you could only describe as a stock bottle and then made putting the label in a different position part of their story, you know, part of their branding. So I think that's brilliant. High proof coffee, right? I love coffee. I probably didn't express that enough on the last tasting that I did. Now, I got this. So by sending this out to someone, a big bag of coffee beans, you're making the wild assumption that the person that you're sending this to has a coffee machine, right? They assumed correctly. I not only have a coffee machine, but I've got a nice grinder and everything. Like, I'm excited by this, right? Now, they sent me this as well. So just want to show you. So these are the sacks that you would get coffee in, right? So they've done really well with the sack, but inside they've got nice material with a nice pocket on the inside. Gorgeous, right? So kit. Now the kit, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a massive geek when it comes to bar tools, and I don't know how to express this enough. Everything that I can buy in black, I will get. I wear black clothes, black shirt, black trousers, black shoes, unless brightly colored Jordans, black hat. My car is all black. Even the tailpipe has been, you know, sprayed black. All the branding blackened out. Stealth, I call it, is my favorite. It's my favorite color for everything. Just stealth. My second favorite color is gray. You know, stealth is the shit to me, right? I don't care if I was going into war. I would probably, I desperately want to wear the all black stealth looking SWAT team outfit, even if I knew it wasn't as tactical, right? I know it's not tactical. In fact, let me show you something. See this? See these? This is matte black spray paint. Do you want to know why? Because when stuff doesn't come in black, then I just spray it black. I make it black. That's my favorite color, right? It's my favorite color. So, I was going to open these on camera for the first time and do an unboxing. But I seen matte black on the sticker on the outside, and I thought to myself, what? So check this out. Look at these. This is a Hawthorne strainer. Right? Like, this is like a good Hawthorne. I wanna point out, you know the Cocktail Kingdom Hawthorne strainer that when it came out and it was wide enough to fit across the Corico? This one fits across the Corico, but cuts in nicely here. And it's got a really big, wide gate closure. I love it. I love it. This is some good kit. Getting excited. Right, check this out. A completely matte black pourer. And I mean, it feels like that's not going to scratch off, right? Gets better. Like, what? Right, you might not be able to see this, but the branding is shiny black on matte black. Right? Now, years ago, Greg gave me this when they came out with the gunmetal black. Compared to the gunmetal black, this looks like Vanta black. It's that black. Vanta black is my favorite color. If you don't know what Vanta black is the blackest of blacks. Right? Check that out. Look at that. How cool is this shit? So, yeah, to Steph and anyone else who had a part in getting me this stuff, thank you. Thank you so much. I really hope it doesn't affect how delicious the rum is. I think I'll be fair when I taste it again tomorrow morning, but for today, this is my excited face. This is my excited face. Pretty excited about it. Like, I love this kit. Like, and it's hard and sturdy. Super excited. So, thank you. And now, I'm excited, right, to taste this. So good. Talk about knowing what a bartender wants, right? Yeah. That tool is for stopping the non-fluid contents coming out. Hold on a second. Let me try something here. I'm just gonna... Try this live on air. See how it goes. Right. Yo, g'day, Mitch.
Oh,
no Mitch's Minute today. Sorry, man. I couldn't get a hold of you. Like, my internet has been super patchy. And every time I tried to call you, it was just like unable to get to you. So I apologize for that. How you feeling?
Haggard.
Haggard.
I had to get all these drinks right. So I've been testing drinks for 2 days by myself. So,
I know how that feels, if that helps.
Fucking 3-day hangover. I feel like fucking shit. But I'm all good.
When you say 3-day hangover, you have a 1-day hangover after 3 days of drinking, or you drank for 1 day and you've got 3 days worth of hangover? I'm just trying to gauge how unhealthy you're feeling at the moment.
A compiled hangover of 3 days.
Okay.
Dude, I tried like 11 or 12 different Bloody Marys at the very end of last night. And I was like, is this hard enough? Is this hard enough? And I just kept dialing up the chili. Oof. And I don't think I can do anything now.
Dude. Whoa, I'm tasting something now. So,
yo,
my
what's
question...
up with the strainer? Why has it got that massive hole in it?
The what?
Like, what? That strainer's got that giant hole in it. Like, what happens when you turn that sucker upside down? All the shit come up top? Hole? Under the thumb thing. What's that? Look. That big square hole.
Yeah, but that's like... You'd be surprised how high up that is. It's like... It's all the way near the top of the shaker. If you're straining and you still... So think about this, right? Look at that. That's where the hole is. So if you're straining and you're going like that, you're doing it wrong. Like,
hang on.
Effectively should be able to strain on that angle.
Spec is right and your glassware is correct. You should leave your strainer completely upside down by the end of it to prove that your shit is on point. Your dilution's correct. right? Like you
I
should
wouldn't.
end up.
I would argue differently. Like I would say, when you go bang, you're rushing the liquid down, and you're going to generate like way more bubbles, and it's going to hit up against the plate. Like if you're doing this, and it's there, like you got to think, man. Like look at that. That's the point. That's the point where the hole is. So if you're at that angle, you've got this much liquid. That's a half a shaker. That's more. That right there, where it would easily be straining out, you've already got half a shaker. Doing that is flair bartending effectively. Like you're just being cocky. You can go boom, boom, right? How many? If you're putting 3 drinks in this, which you would need to get that much liquid in there. Come on, man. I think it'll be fine. It also adjust the matte blackedliness. I might spray this. I might spray this.
I could see the giddy look on your face when I see it.
Look at this one.
Oh man, I fucking love this.
Yeah, and the rings on the inside are so like clear, and it's shiny on the inside. Mate, love it. Love it. Look at this one. You also the feel it feels like gunmetal or something. It feels like better. Yeah. Oh, dude. So I think, where's Ron Colon from? Like, I mean, it says El Salvador, but it's American, right? Because my understanding was that it's a bartender brand.
I haven't tasted it though.
Oh, dude. Okay, here. It's high proof rum, but it smells like Jamaican funk.
Monty.
El Salvador rum. It's dry. It's really good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. You'd like it. You'd like it, but it's like it's halfway between like a dark sort of like Dunder Pit high ester rum and a industrial Cuban style. Like it's a nice balance between the two. So effectively, it tastes like it's been made for cocktails. Does that make sense?
And you said the coffee liqueur's got a big belter of an ABV on it?
Coffee liqueur is 55.5% alcohol by volume, my friend. Yeah, man. That is the highest ABV. At the moment, the highest ABV coffee liqueur I can think of is Mr. Black's at 25. So,
how's that sucker drink?
It smells like dry coffee beans. It smells like cold drip coffee. It smells like someone poured rum into a container that previously held like a pot of coffee in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's on the market here. I might go get some today. Yo, have you had this shit before?
I can't read it, but the other way. There. Nope, haven't tasted it. Is it good?
Fucking Mac. Super good.
Yeah, 110 proof coffee liqueur. So for my London friends, as you know, I can put stuff in a taxi. Obviously, putting shit in a taxi is starting to cost me loads of money. But I'm willing to do so. Otherwise, next week when the sun comes out, I'm going to start cycling again. So I might just fill my backpack with samples of this stuff and share the love to everyone else in lockdown and try to get fit at the same time. I've got down to 102, between 100 and 102 kilos, and like I don't know whether I've hit a point, but I feel like I'm getting fitter, but I'm not getting any lighter. So
I'm 95 kilos.
That's big for you though, right?
Yeah, really big. Yeah, fucking dad bod extraordinaire. That's why I got this new dad goatee. Look at this shit.
Dude, I don't even know how you do it. Your hair looks amazing though.
So gross. It's so gross. My New Balance though.
So why are you growing it if you think it's gross? Is Karen forcing you to do that? Blink 3 times if you're in danger.
No, because you have to wear a mask all the time, right? So I was like, I just shaped my facial hair to go under my mask, and I'm like getting around in like fucking white New Balance and corduroys, dude. I'm in like full dad mode.
Have you when you've got cargos?
Yeah.
Come back, talk to me. Or a baby. Actually, when you've got a baby, a baby. You want to know dad mode? Man, so when I started the episode, I hadn't realized it, even when I took the photo for the episode, but I had Axel's banana face on my shoulder because I was carrying him right before I'd come out to do the episode. So like, he rubbed his banana face and was like all over my, and then I took a photo and I put it up on Facebook, and then I went, what's that white smut? Oh, crap. That's dad mode. That's dad mode. So, right. Yeah. So, Mitch's Minute. Are you ready?
Yeah. What do you got?
Favorite Italian product?
Favorite Italian product? I mean, you have to be Campari.
Okay.
You have to. You have like you could get geekier and be like, oh, something obscure that's fucking delicious. But as a fundamental thing, like the one thing I couldn't live without, Campari.
Do you think like vermouth I couldn't live without? Like
that was the other thing I was thinking about, but then I didn't think of vermouth as exclusively Italian.
Yeah, but you say that, but I mean like, if you didn't have Martini and the mothball effect that Martini's like success had, because if you look at the history of Martini and Rossi, like you had a perfect pairing of someone who was like deeply passionate about the product they were presenting and someone who was a business person, was able to grow it. Like you might not have then had the Cocchies and the other Italians like kind of staying around, and we wouldn't know about them in the same way. So like in Spain, there's shitloads of sweet vermouths all over the place. Like, but we don't know about them. They're not a staple in bars. Does that make sense?
Totally. But the counter argument to that would be if Martini and Rossi hadn't grown, somebody else was going to fill the void, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like if someone wasn't exporting to the US, like, so the US is massive for Amaros right now, right?
Yeah.
But if Amaros had since the turn of the century, last century, like for the last 100 years, been the size of like Bacardi in the US, like it would have been a done thing. Like people would have known about Amaros. Like 50% of their small family-grown Amaros would have died out. There'd be one giant Amaro that everyone knows. You know what I mean? And it's because they're discovering it now that it's like a hip thing and it's growing. Because it was quiet for so long, because it wasn't exported, because there wasn't a big... Like, would vermouth have lasted, or would they just turn back to wine? Anyway, you're right, Campari. Because, like, again, had there not been a big brand like Campari, would we have bitters at all? Would we have potable bitters? You know, the knock-on effect. You need these big brands to keep championing so that the smaller brands can come back through. This is delicious. It's it's very boozy.
Well, before the cocktail renaissance, right? Like let's think like 2002, call it. How much Campari were bars really going through?
In Italy?
Fucking nothing.
In Italy, loads, but nothing in our world.
And like in a global sense, like I probably hadn't even fucking tried it. You know what I mean? It's like now when you give a kid some Don Benedictine that's been bartending for 2 or 3 years and they're like, yo, this is fucking delicious. And you're like, yeah. Because Don Benedictine is so fucking out of fashion that nobody uses it. Like, when are people using Dom now, except in like Vukaris?
Man, I had a blind tasting of Grand Marnier last week for the WSETs. I probably shouldn't have told you that, but oh no, it wasn't for the test. But dude, I was like, fuck, this is delicious. Like, you could tell it was Grand Marnier, but only because I drank so many B52s when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So I knew what it tasted like. But otherwise, like, if you analyze it, it's amazing.
Oh, delicious. Are you totally done with that course now?
I've got to do tests, and I'm not gonna lie. I should have been doing 5 or 6 hours a day of studying this whole time, and I've done no studying. Every time I sit down with the book, I start doing it, and I'm distracted by something else. So, basically, you know, Babs, obviously. Babs is going to be taking Axel to take care of him now that we've got like a flow. She's going to be taking him as of starting tomorrow, which is why I have to go drink some champagne today. She's going to be taking him starting tomorrow, and keeping him from kind of 9 till 3:34-ish, which gives me some free time to work on my consultation and do my WSET study. But I need to do my test to find out that I failed. Do
you think you're going to fail?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, because you got to think about this, right? It's all fine and good to have a lot of knowledge, like even to have been to the places, right? Like, so when we were talking about mezcal, I was like, fuck, I'm lucky. I've been to Oaxaca and I've been to a bunch of places. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude. Whoops. I forgot I had this. I just lost the bottle. Oh shit.
We can only do this while my wife's upstairs. She works for.
And like, dude, do you remember this?
Oh, B&B?
No, this is the limited edition Dom Benedictine, like the 1510 series, such something or other. Like, it was like, it was back in the day. It was like, you basically, when it came out, it was impossible to get a hold of. And I never quite, because it didn't really explain what it was. It was like some precious given only to important people. And the person that got it gave it to me. Yeah, I still don't know what it is and what makes it different to other normal Dom Benedictine, but I've got that there. When you come back to the UK, we'll drink it.
I love Benedictine. Shit's delicious.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, Ron Cologne, delicious. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. The coffee rum is very rum with a bit of coffee.
All right, I'll go grab some today. I've got to go get some beer face. So.
Well, so what was that? What was the question I was going to ask you?
What was the Italian thing I couldn't live without?
Yeah, Campari. Yeah.
Okay, if there was like, you can keep Campari or you can keep Max Greco, I'm keeping Max Greco.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The amount of Italians that have had a positive influence on my life is huge. Like, dude, Marco Ferroni inspired me to want to be a better bartender.
Marco Ferroni inspired me to want to be a better person.
Yeah. Well, you need to be a better person to be a better bartender.
Marco's one of the fucking funniest people I've ever met. I know so many good Italians, and I know so many good Czech people as well.
Czech people are amazing. Yeah. What is it? But I mean, I think they come from drinking culture background. So like telling stories, like hanging out with people, being social is kind of, and especially in the environment we live in, is built into the culture, right?
Yeah, and no indoor voices. No indoor voices.
Yeah.
They only have voice, and it's fucking outdoor voice at all times.
There's Italians with indoor voices, but not the ones we know.
Well, I mean, what's your boy from Metallica's? Luca, the real charm and handsome one. He's got indoor voice, but he might be the only Italian person I've ever met with indoor voice.
Do not underestimate Luca. Luca came to Tales of the Cocktail bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with me. I say with me like, you know, Tales of a Cocktail, right? You're in a foreign country with foreign people, and everything's big and everything's exciting, and you go there and you can't help but gravitate back to the people from your hometown, right? So Luca, I've been to Tales multiple times. Luca's first time at Tales. Really early doors, like the first day. Luca's like, "Hey, Dean, oh, you know, I'm like, cool, man, what's going on?" Just hung out the whole time, right? The last day, Luca and I fucking in the pool, Monteleone, first people in the pool, last people out of there. Like, right, I gotta go. So Luca's a machine. You know, never underestimate Luca. I went to his wedding in Mexico. He's a beast, and he gets the outside voice, but it takes a few drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I only think of him as just the handsome, affluent, charming, and daring. I've only met him with you, so every time I see him, I'm always like, God damn it, that guy's fucking suave.
Yeah, man, he's the James Bond of Italian bartenders.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, look,
Elica's good. Yeah. Yo, anyway, shout out to Babs. Happy fucking retirement. Give your wife a kiss for me. She's amazing.
They're probably outside the cabin right now. I'm gonna go drink a couple of bottles of Bollinger.
Fuck yeah, get it.
Right. I'll see. The comments are like, "We have dinner ready, Dean. Get out of here." All right. Love you, man.
Right,
I'll speak to you soon.
Ciao,
Not
man.
tomorrow, but the next day, right?
Yeah.
All right. Ciao, brother. All right. So that's the end of the show. I'm going to go drink some champagne. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Pew, 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 pew. And outro.
You ordered what?